When I signed my deal, I felt pressure. Don't wanna see the numbers, I wanna see heaven. You say, could you write a song for me? I say, I'm sorry about you that I believe.
Hello guys, this is Anime Wizard 101, and last time we left off with Aladdin finally being able to fix the flute, and Kun comes out and everybody's freaked out, and we start out chapter 3 in the same scenario. Everybody in the caravan just runs out scared shitless, and surprisingly the only one that doesn't seem phased, or maybe a little bit but not that much, he's not scared, is Alibaba. And we see that he's actually planning something for the future with Aladdin's Dijin. And so we go on, and Alibaba and Aladdin go to the Oasis capital, Shishan. And pretty much Alibaba's trying to befriend Aladdin. He's telling him that he's you're my pal, you're my buddy, we're friends. And Aladdin buys everything. He's like, oh, I'm your friend. Are you serious? Thank you so much. He's like, oh, you're my first friend ever. And then Alibaba's like, are you serious? And then, yeah, it's crazy, huh? He only has one friend. And we see that Alibaba is like pampering him everywhere. He wants to go get into Aladdin's good side, you could say. So he's buying him apples, food, and everything. And then he asks Aladdin, what's up with the flute? And he says, oh, that's not a normal fruit, because it sprouts arms out. And Aladdin tells him that that's Ugo-kun. And then he says like, yeah, it's Ugo, but you guys all call him the Jinn or something like that. And then that's when Alibaba jumps to the conclusion that Ugo is what he's looking for, his powers, to be able to go to the dungeon. And then he explains to Aladdin what a dungeon is once again. It's a place where you can find a lot of treasures and magical items. So Alibaba asked Aladdin how he was able to encounter the flute, and he says that Aladdin says that he found the flute and this palace looking thing, structure, building, and he was inside with Ugo. And since we saw from chapter 1, I guess it was that place that he was in there, and that's when he made that wish. When Ugo asked him for what was his wish, and Aladdin asked him to be his friend. And then Aladdin was finally able to escape this he explained, this underground building or structure, but Ugo-kun wasn't able to get so lucky. Only his body was able to come out, and his head is still in there somewhere, and Aladdin doesn't know where it's located at. And he wants to go to the dungeon to try to get him out. So Alibaba is kind of surprised, because he wouldn't think that Aladdin would want to go to a dungeon. He thought he would be scared, but he's not. He's actually pretty optimistic. And then after that we see Alibaba's boss, the guy that's in charge of the caravans, comes into the building where he lives, and he talks about how he has to pay Buro the money, or else, because the guy that was going to purchase the grape wine from Buro is a very strong and wealthy man, and he's thinking of making Alibaba into his slave because of how much money he owes him. And then he goes on to say that he's not kind and nice. He's actually the complete opposite to his slaves and servants. And then Alibaba tells his boss, "Don't trip. I'll pay him back. I'm gonna go dungeon hopping with my friend here, Aladdin." And he tells him, "Oh, boss, this is my bud, Aladdin." And he tells him to take Ugo to play the flute, and Ugo comes out. And his boss is just scared shitless, and he's like, "Oh, who's this guy? Who's this little boy next to you?" And then Aladdin is thinking he's gonna say, "Oh, he's my friend, my good pal, my homie." And to his surprise, Alibaba says, "He's my servant." And then we move on. So they leave. And then for the longest time, Alibaba's talking to him and is talking about how they have to make preparations and they have to buy swords, knives, buy all these things to go to the dungeon. But Aladdin is not even, he's paying attention to him, he's like listening, but he's bummed out because of what happened. And Alibaba's trying to pamper him. He's asking why you're mad. And then he's thinking like, how could I fix this, right? So what does he like? And then he remembers that he likes food and pretty women. So he decides to take him into something like how would I put it? Not a brothel, because they're not. I don't know. Maybe yeah. I think yeah. Yeah. I would call it a brothel. So they go into a brothel, and then Alibaba is thinking that this will finally like get him to crack, and so he goes on to say that this is costing him like a fortune, and he doesn't even have money to pay for it, and he's expecting Aladdin to be happy and being like himself and running around and rubbing his face around all these pretty women's boobs and stuff. And then he asks Aladdin like, "Hey, what's up? Like, why are you being so depressed? Like, if you have a problem, just go out. Tell me about it." And then he tells him that he called him that. He tells Alibaba that he told his boss that he was his servant. And then Alibaba was like, "Oh, that's why you're mad or depressed?" And he's like, "Oh, I just told my boss that because to make him seem like I'm a big shot, but you're actually my friend." So they kiss and make up, and then they start having fun. Sorry. And Aladdin starts going to like all these pretty ladies. He's rubbing his face around their boobs, having fun. And then Alibaba decides to have some fun too. And then I guess he pays for the prettiest woman or girl in the brothel, and he ends up getting this weird looking she-male kind of thing or person. He has like a long nose like Usopp from One Piece, but has boobs, and she's huge and muscular. Her name is Elizabeth, and you should see Alibaba's face. The author captures it pretty well. So the last part of the chapter, we see the rest of the guys, them two like having fun with the girls, and Alibaba, I don't know if he had fun, but he has kisses everywhere. His clothes are pretty much torn off. And then Aladdin is like, "Thank you for this." And then that's how the chapter ends. So my question for this chapter is, where exactly is Ugo Kun's head, and where is this building actually located at? If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up down below, leave a comment, and subscribe. and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.